All right. I have been itching right for a good action like MMO, right? We discussed this on Twitch. We discussed this yesterday on the show. And what I mean by that, and there's a certain type that I'm into, right? It's not a very entertaining genre. You've had people kind of do bits and pieces of it, in terms of what I like or what I'm into. But let's start here. My dream game would be for it wouldn't have to be Marvel or DC. It's just because that has the lore that I'm obviously most interested in. But you know how, for example, like DC Universe is still going, still kicking, Community still going. The depth and the detail of in a world like, traversal, running around, doing your thing, having like crews and stuff, home bases, all of that stuff. It's just severely dated of a game. With the combat system of a Marvel's Avengers, games like that, where I think people need to understand, like, it's a live response. So it's a brawler in a sense, but the combat is basically a combat system is more of akin to a almost a fighter, right? We've seen games have bits and pieces of trying to do that. It's a difficult game that I acknowledge that, PvP would be very difficult. The closest that we're probably going to get, I always say, is Xenoverse. Xenoverse, where, it had the creation, different races, didn't have much of the open worldness and stuff, just had that little hub or whatever that you went in, and then you went into missions, parallel quests and stuff like that. But you get what I'm saying, where they tried to, they didn't pay enough attention to it. But that's probably the closest that we've been to having that aspect while also having like a fighter kind of like PvP, right? In addition to the environment which you fought other people. The reason why those are so hard to make and why you don't see a lot of those is because you're basically making two games in one. You have to try to make the traversal element while also having guys that know what they're doing with the combat system. But to me, that's my perfect game. That's my dream game. Is to have something like that. There's games that have attempted to do it, and definitely, shooters have been the closest that you're gonna probably get to it. But I'm looking for more of a fighter magic display where you see that. Like, for those of you that play, for example, Marvel's Avengers, the problem with that game is everything surrounding it. It has nothing to do with the combat. Combat system is the best part of the game. And with having the different fighters, like, obviously Black Widow doesn't fight like Hulk, and Hulk doesn't fight like, Thor. Those are two completely different. One flies, it's completely different mechanic, which I appreciate. But I would love to see something like that is less about the PvP. The PvP will be the icing on the cake. And I know some people don't like playing online games without PvP. And I'm a competitive guy, I play a lot. But, we're playing Outriders, for example, which is going to satisfy me. It's not quite the game that I'm talking about, but it's going to satisfy my itch after playing a demo. Though it's a third-person shooter, it's kind of Gears meets Destiny kind of thing and stuff like that. But I'm giving the industry, 10 years to make this game. My venture right now for the next decade is finishing, doing stuff with Backwards in the music, but also the comic book stuff. That's my empire that I'm trying to build. I'm give y'all 10 years. Decade. I'm 30 right now. Once I hit 40, then I just all of a sudden become my midlife adventure. Not a crisis. My midlife adventure. Then I just make the game. Maybe then I do it. But DC Universe, you're sitting on gold right now, bro. You have your community that's still rocking, which has been like 10 years. Update the game and give it a fresh like combat system. Take a bite out of Marvel's Avengers. Then you had a perfect game. Keep everything else that you're doing. Create customization, all that you can keep that subscription, whatever. Because I know that takes a lot of development. You keep the subscription, all that. I'm not one of those that just, oh my God, there's companies making money off of me. Like, I don't, like, whatever. Just upgrade it. You're sitting on gold. You can do it. I know you can. That's all I want you to do. Just do it. That to me, though, is my perfect game. Brawler, fighter mechanics. Open world, traversal, superhero kind of stuff. Hopefully we get a game that can do it. Unreal. We haven't got that next gen experience anyway, but I think a lot of people are waiting on this. What Unreal 5 I think comes out at the end of the year. I think Unreal 5 comes out. It's gonna be interested to see what happens, but I'll even settle for the first rollout, no PvP, because look, it's gonna be hard to balance. This is what a lot of PvP games that have those aspects, like I said, Xenoverse balance issues, right? You know, even DC Universe Online, it's balance issues. This is why you got to really focus on the fighter element, and you can't even, you know, it's tough, man. It's tough. I will say this. When I was a big Xenoverse guy, Xenoverse 2 guy, and the 2-3 instances where like that, my entire playing of that game, where I was able to get two of my bros to end up on the same side on a team and fight another team that was balanced. So that's probably happened 3 times. It was some of the funnest shit I ever played. Some of the funnest stuff that I played. Where it was a balanced game that was competitive because it was balanced, and it was 3v3 my bros versus this other squad. Oh my God, some of the best gameplay that I got out of that. But it was just very rare that happened. It was either unbalanced or good luck getting on the same team. So, DC Universe Online, this is my idea for you. This is my pitch. Because if you don't do it in 10 years, I'm going to do it. Take your world. You already got the lore, all that stuff that you're doing. Upgrade it. Maybe use Unreal 5. Upgrade it. Do whatever you need to do. Take a bite out of the combat system of the like Avengers, where it's kind of brawler fighting mechanics. You have different kind of characters that can do different things. And keep those other aspects, your vast open worlds, different places to go, all of that stuff. You can keep that sort of stuff there. But it's just severely dated. It plays like a fucking N64 game right now. And I mean, it's cool, but you can do better. So you got 10 years. Do my comic book stuff. And in 10 years, if y'all ain't built that game, well, we know what my next venture is. You got 10 years on the. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.